Good evening and welcome to another edition of African American Advocacy, the talk show that proves that our shadow cloud of the so-called African American can find his way to America, locked in the trunk of the ship. Lisa, can you read?
I hear you. You hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm here again.
You know what? You,
I'm back.
you know what? You know, it's good to have you because most of the people we get, that look like you, that have the knowledge that you have, we don't get that. And so I'm just happy that we have it with you.
Oh, that's so sweet. You just know how to charm a girl.
No, I'm serious.
I just yeah, no, thank you. I'm just, here to it's just a pleasure to be in your presence and be able to share this great, chat that you have, the great people that you have. It's awesome. And you have the best platform there is. So people need to recognize that. They need to recognize it.
So it's I hear my voice twice, like we talked about. What is that?
I don't know. Do you have like your phone or two places open or something? Because why is it echoing?
No.
You must have two mics open. Maybe like the mic on your computer and the mic somewhere else or something. That's what it sounds like. Like you have two mics open, maybe.
But it's coming on your side.
It's on my side.
Yes.
Oh well. You think it's okay? Let me mute it and then let me see.
Okay. So, it's like I say, we're gonna have to start our brains are kind of like freezing up. And if you pay attention to how all this 5G is coming online, all this media, fake media stuff, all these words and all just everything they're doing is to clog up the mind of the people. Where you're not even thinking. You think somebody else is going to do that for you. Oh, they'll figure it out. That's why I tell you what you say. I mean, because you do have a say. You do have a say in this. I mean, don't you? Wasn't your grandmama's grandmama her grandmama? Wasn't this they land? Wasn't they over here chilling? According to the story, when they over here chilling, and all these people came over here and seen what you was doing, seen how you had it, seen what kind of people you were, how loving and kind you were. And then they just decided to just rip you off. Decided to rip you off. So a lot of times when we want to say people did things to us, I mean, we really got to ask ourselves, what did we do? I mean, what were we doing? See, and when you get to that part, we don't want to talk about it. You know why we don't want to talk about it? You know why we don't talk about it? Because we help them, like we do today. Remember, when they give you words, they only give you their point of it, their view of it. What you say. Don't you have a say so? I mean, serious. I mean, at least for your grandmama, damn. See, a Negro will still hear the Negro will go with some Scandinavian said over what his grandmama said. Tell me I'm lying. And so this is the stuff. This is what we're teaching our children. And this is why it's taken so long for us to come out of it, because we're still in it. We still got people in the military, right? You're defending the United States? How dare you? How dare you? This is why we lose. They use you as their tool. That's all. Everything in America has your fingerprints on it. Everything has your prints on it. You don't want it. You want to put a fez on it and say it's theirs while it wasn't you at all. You want to put everybody's name on your creation. And you wonder why you lose. Everything. You want to give it to somebody else. Why? Why is that not talked about, and why is that not attempted to be corrected? Seriously. I mean, isn't there going to come a time where we're going to have to educate ourselves because the rest of the world is pouring into your home and you're just sitting there like a knot on the wall, like everything is cool? Are we not seeing what's happening? Are we not paying attention to the times? We're trying to be other people in the hopes that they will take us in and love us like we love them. That's what we're thinking. What you see going on in the United States on America, what you're seeing it, and you're seeing how you're playing into it. The best example would be, something real quick that we can look at, seriously, is Negroes voting for Biden and Harris. That's been a winner. You see how that went down? That's everything the African American does is going down that right. That's why they were created. Remember, you have the African American, you have the Black, you have the Negro, you have the colored. What's before colored? It was a time in this vocabulary, nigger wasn't the word, it was savage. Remember? They called you a nasty ass savage. They made films about it too. Those films aren't for history purposes. Those films are to train you to back up their language. They had a whole era in the cinema in this country where they went in blackface. And you're not even Black. You wasn't even Black. That wasn't for you. That was for them. That's how they got them to start calling you that. They used black shoe polish on their face and said you were that, and that wasn't you. You didn't look like that. They were making fun of you. So what do you do? I mean, seriously, this is how Negroes are trained. You were trained to act like that. That's what those films show you. That's what mostly all the films that you've done. That's all it is. It's some clown shit. So these images are going to have to be changed, and this is what that we're here for. We can't look at ourselves how other people look at us. We'll lose forever. We'll lose forever. And I'm not understanding how we not seeing that shit. How we not seeing that? I come and call you whatever I think the worst thing I can think of another human being. This dude is in your house. He's over in your country. He's running your mom and daddy off their land. And you accept he names you like a dog every generation and a half or so. It's just to keep you confused. It's just to keep you confused. You have a nation that stretches from Seattle, Washington to Miami, Florida, from the state of Maine to San Diego, and everything in between, all the land in Canada. See, this is how they mess you up. So this is what I want Lisa to do. Lisa was telling me a story about her uncle. Now, check out this drawing. Check out this drawing. This is the picture of one of her relatives. I think he moved up to Montana. So we were having a conversation. How did they look at it? Because it wasn't states back then. This is before the United States and all that came about. How these people lived, what they did, how they looked at stuff. Because they wasn't looking at it like, man, I'm in New York. I'm going to California, because that wasn't there. So how was they thinking? How did they look at things? And she's going to give you some insight of this. Now, if you're an African American, you might not get this. It ain't about you. It's about the people, the indigenous people of America, and the things they did and what they did. And those are your ancestors. You should check out what these cats did, because remember, they had no cars. They had no planes. They were all over this place. So, Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and put on my mic, put on mute. We having some technical difficulty tonight, y'all. I'm going to put on my mic, Lisa, and share with us, please.
Hey, Kayuk. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. So there, our oral history, what your families told you, what people's families told them, all comes together with the point of this, that we traveled all over, not just the Americas, but all over the planet. You know, we were getting in boats. We were traveling. We went to Africa. We went to the UK, or what is now called the UK. We traveled up to Canada, and we did it because we had people that did it before us, and we've been here for so long. And this has been, our this is our foothold. This is our homeland. So yeah, we do know who's up there. Who lives up there? We know because we went up there. We know because they come down. They come down to get corn. We teach them how to plant the corn. We send a wife with them. We send a couple of people with them to help them out. We do things like that. So we travel and we know what's north, what's south, who's in Mexico, who's in Central America. We know. We know. So that's why we have this whole, when you do your genealogy, a lot of people end up saying, well, yeah, it seemed like they were on the east and then they went out to Texas. Well, okay. But you'll see things like people went out to Texas and then they went back east again, right? Well, they're not going to some strange far off place. Unlike these people that come here and immigrate to the Americas, we're familiar. We know. This is our home. We know our people. We know what people we got on the east. We know what people we got in the west. We know what people we got south. We know our folk. And so that's why you'll see when you trace a person like, wow, well, why did they leave, why did they leave Virginia? Or why did they end up going to Georgia? Why did they end up in Alabama? Or why did they just go out, why did they leave Alabama and go to Virginia out the blue? That's not out the blue. They were in Virginia and then they ended up going to Alabama because they needed to leave Virginia because things was happening. Or they had people they need to tend to or help out there. But we have a whole network of families. This is what you have to understand about this continent, is that Highway 90 goes from Boston to Washington State. That's an Indian trail. Think about that. The highway goes from Boston to Washington freaking State. Tell me that we don't know this, what everything, right? We know where everything is, right? We've been everywhere. And let me tell you how wimpy these daggone these colonizers are. I'm watching this daggone thing about Lewis and Clark, movie about Lewis and Clark. And they pay, they're explorers, brave. Man, they weak and scary. Who did they have to get? Sacagawea and her husband, and she got a baby, or she pregnant or something. She got a baby and her husband. What in the world? What kind of men have a whole family with a newborn baby, trekking all up the west coast, up to the west coast, to guide them because you're too scared to do it by yourself, and you're too stupid to do it yourself. See, that's the thing. I mean, they remix everything to be like, oh, they are there, brave explorer. No, everything they did, they had us there. Every time they came into the States from Europe, they had to snatch one of us. They're gonna make us be their daggone interpreter and bring one of us back with them. Yeah, that's right. All the interstate states are Indian, and no, I wouldn't call them Indian trails. I find that insulting. They're Indian highways. They're Indian roads. Why our shit gotta be a trail? Like a fucking rabbit trail. Fuck that shit. It's not a trail. It's an Indian highway. It's an Indian road. It is today what it has always been. A road. A highway. A friggin' interstate. They made the friggin' interstate. We made the friggin' interstate. It's not a trail. Why it gotta be a trail? See, that's how they demean us. They be demeaning us, they shade us, and all these different nuances in our language and how we talk about ourselves. That's the thing, that kind of stuff has to stop. It really, we really have to remix the language we use or allow people to use on us, right? These interstates are our interstates. These roads are our roads. We did not live in huts. We lived in homes. We did not live we did not have settlements. We had we had villages, we had towns, we had cities. Let's make sure that we don't allow people to misuse the language to demean our developments, to demean our civilization, because that's what they do. You see, like a bunny trail. This ain't no bunny trail. Anything that goes from Boston to there going to Washington State ain't no trail, boo. Exactly. Empires. So we need to be careful of that. These people are always trying to demean us in very covert ways, just in the language that they use, and they uplift themselves. So you understand, like, what kind of, it's so funny people talk about, I thought, about. Think about the fact that they had to depend on us to even feed themselves, survive, learn how to survive, how to do anything. They had to sit at our daggone feet to be able to do anything that they do, but they remix it and act like they're the architects of the whole America. We built this. We did it all. Really? No, you did not. It was already built. All you did was try to sign the daggone thing at the end. You put your signature on it and took credit. You a cheat and a fraud. And then everything they do that's a great development, it don't happen until after 1870. How is that? How in all these years you don't do shit until 1870? You don't develop anything. You're not an architect. You're not a designer. You're not really a scientist. You don't deal with electricity until then. You haven't done anything until like the 1870s. You didn't do nothing until then. Why is that? Make that make sense. So you have to understand that we were doing all kinds of impressive things for so long, and that we don't even realize it ourselves. We don't even want to give ourselves the credit for being the architects of all these things, from being the creators of all this greatness. Like, I was sitting there talking to my Uber driver, and I was like talking about, I said, because I was talking to Carrie before her, and I was like, yeah, I said, I was just talking to my friend. We were talking about, I was talking about these babies, and how they're trying to, and how in this world, and there's all this stuff that they're doing out here to try to kill the Indians, kill the Negroes, And she was like, oh, you said Negroes, and I said, yeah, I did. And she was like, oh yeah, and I said, well, I said, yeah, they're trying to kill us. I said, but it ain't working. I said, look at this traffic in Atlanta. Look at this place. What is going on in Atlanta? Daggone. I am so mad. These daggone pale faces don't even know how to kill nobody right. What in the world? How you gonna have a plan to daggone depopulate and there's more niggas than ever? That doesn't even make any sense. How is that happening? You fail. You can't even drive in friggin' Atlanta. There's so many people. It's worse now than before COVID. Explain that. This is the thing about us. We are very adaptable. Right? Don't tell me we don't have superhuman powers. We just don't know it. Once we start knowing it, then we in trouble. But we already got superhuman powers. I guarantee you. Because our little babies, I don't know what kind of neighborhoods y'all, go around in. Y'all might be a little more, sedity than the neighborhoods I pass through or I live in. But I have seen, honey, a lot of babies growing up on what? Growing up on hot Cheetos and Mellow Yellow, okay? Mellow Yellow has enough caffeine to fuel a daggone steam engine. I mean, this thing is rocket fuel. I mean, you could send the Apollo up in space on Mellow Yellow, okay? And these babies be drinking Mellow Yellow and hot Cheetos like it ain't nothing. And let me tell you, these babies are so smart. They are so smart. They're calculating things. They're giving you change for your money. These babies are coming out smarter than ever, and they're doing it on the fuel of hot Cheetos and Mellow Yellow. Can you tell me what other being can take garbage and make it into gold? What other being can do that? Talk about being adaptable, y'all. Talk about being adaptable. You give us crap and we turn it into diamonds. Are you freaking kidding me? Y'all don't know that we're superhuman? Who else does that? These daggone Europeans are going around like, oh, well, let's make sure that, is it organic? Does it have gluten? Now they're allergic to gluten. Is it organic? Does it have gluten in it? Is it peanut free? They can't take nothing. They make sure that their diets are pristine, and still their kids got daggone all kinds of mental issues, their learning issues, their freaking, autism. They got all kinds of shit going on. No matter how pristine their diets are, our kids are living in, drinking up foul water, eating daggone garbage, daggone killer food, and they're still running around here cranking out genius. Just pure genius. We took 110, I-10 and I-20. Had any of these? Yep, yeah. Well, I mean, of course they have Indian names. It's funny how, what is really funny is how, it's still there. Knock on wood. But, it's still there. But yeah, I mean, we make these babies. They eat raw crap. Yeah, they eating all this stuff that's like perfect, and then they still don't excel. So we have babies, a whole generation of babies brought up on garbage, and they are geniuses. Genius babies brought up on garbage. We are adaptable. So every time they think they got us figured out and they can kill us or they can get rid of us or they can, knock out our population, it doesn't work. It's getting harder and harder. It doesn't work. So now they're mad and they're pointing fingers at each other and putting each other on trial and acting like people are all so evil. They know. They've been watching each other do this daggone ratchet, disgusting, demonic stuff for centuries. They know what they do. Nobody cares about what they do. But now they want to use it as an excuse to put each other in jail and roll each other underneath the bus because they pointing fingers. You're the reason it didn't work. You're the reason it didn't work. No, you. So they want to knock each other out because they so mad. This thing has been such a total failure. Making up fake additional viruses. It's this one, it's that one, it's a variant. Bitch, you ain't even tested for the first virus. How you gonna think this? How you gonna find a variant when ain't nobody sick like that, first of all? Secondly, where are these sick people that you're testing? Third of all, it's like they just making up stuff and they're mad because the shit ain't working. And they pointing fingers and wanting to take each other down. That's what we're witnessing right now. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do now that they know that you better start recognizing how powerful we are. You better start waking up and waking your family up, letting them know, man, we are friggin' amazing. Do you not understand? And they still thriving. The environments we live in with the 5G blasting in our ears and the fucking, bad food and the bad water, and half of our families took the shit and they still kick it around like ain't nothing wrong with them. Shit, that ain't right. That's amazing, y'all. That's amazing. They took that friggin' daggone mRNA and just took it and dumped it right in the toilet. It's gone. That's what our people do. That's how amazing we are. We have the superpowers. We have to recognize we got the superpowers. It's already in us. Do you not feel it? Don't you see it? Yeah, we got some assholes. We got people that make us mad and they do stupid shit. But even despite us being assholes, there's still half of them are gifts. All these
You're gonna have to
extraordinary
you're gonna have to say
abilities.
that again because you blacked out. Say what you said.
What
About the last 10 seconds, you blacked out.
what was I saying? I don't know what did I stop at?
I forgot.
Anyway, no, I was just talking about the fact that we're amazing, and that though we live in this crap and they try to inoculate us, and half of our families got just shit this thing right out of our bodies. It ain't even half of our families got inoculated and they just fine. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They seem to be pretty okay. Why? Because that's what we do. We're about
I
divinely
don't know
made.
what
We
you're
are
doing, but
divinely
you're
made.
dropping out. You're dropping out.
Oh,
And I
talk
want to
about
hear what you
being
got to say.
you got it. Talk about being divinely made. We are divinely made. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, I'm assuming you can. Okay, we are divinely made, and the fact that we're food and the 5G blaring in our that actually allowing themselves to take, you know,
See you dropping out, like right there.
and
You
they're
drop.
comfortable and
You keep dropping out, and I don't know if it's not you.
huh. Is it the sound that's going?
Yeah, you just blacking out.
Hmm. Let me see. I'm not sure what is that. Uh, mm, mm.
So you got it.
I don't
Unmute.
know. It's unmute. I'm unmuted. Okay. Let me mute it and unmute it. What? Maybe that's what the problem is. Okay. Let me try it again. You hear me? Well, what we gotta realize is that we are these super people because just with everything they've tried this year, we have survived it all. Crack hits our neighborhoods, we survived that. Heroin hits our neighborhood, we survived that. Methamphetamines, we beat that. The damn oxy, not interested, didn't kill us. I mean, we are an amazing people. We're indestructible. We're indestructible. You got the damn HIV, where that hit us a little bit, and but we survived that. But I want y'all to be careful because let me understand this. They are very mad that this thing did not work. So they trying to hit us with everything they got all at once. So do be careful because HIV is still a weapon and they still using it. So do not, don't get careless and think you don't have to worry about that and you got to put a face mask on and blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about these people having diseases because they are still going to try to hit you with all this stuff that they can't hit us with. You know, just be mindful of that. Just be mindful. And also, but also remember that it's a lot of what they use that actually works on us is what is in our heads, right? We're our own worst enemies. The babies that don't know better, that sit up there and eat the hot Cheetos because that's what mama lets them have and they got the mellow yellow. Well, they dealing with what they got and they making it work. Okay, they don't know no better, but their bodies are divinely made. So they make they make it work. It works. They adapt. But at the same time, when our minds are messed up, when our emotions, I want to talk about our emotions. When we aren't really when we lose ourself, when we lose that confidence in ourselves and our abilities and who we are as a people, that's when we fall down. when we don't realize that we're divinely made, when we don't realize that we're the authority of our own station, our own history, and we should be the authors of our own destiny. When we don't take control of that, that's when we ruin our lives, right? That's when we go the wrong way. They can't do anything to us without us consenting to this. I'm going to say it again. They cannot do anything to us without us consenting to it. When we believe their bullshit, that's consenting to it. So when we get all stressed out because they telling us this stuff about variants, and we start worrying about this and worrying about that and worrying about all these other things that they trying to throw out there to try to strike fear into us, when we let the fear work, that's when they're winning. We cannot let the fear work on us because it'll break down us physically, mentally, but more importantly, more alarming is that what fear does to you physically, the physical harm that it has. Fear kills more people than any disease. I venture to say that more than the COVID, fear killed most of the people that died. It wasn't really COVID, it was fear. It was all the fear because they believed all the propaganda that they heard blasted in their ears. We have we have the TV and we have this phone in our pocket, and it becomes it enslaves us. It enslaves us to the lies. It enslaves us to the lies and the propaganda that they want to put in our brains. They control us by this information that they put in our pockets. That TV, yes, exactly, but also the TV in our pockets. That becomes our trainer. That becomes our master. That becomes our overseer. We believe what they tell us, and therefore it becomes real. And it has a real effect on us. This is the thing. So if we could get us free of this propaganda, then we get to be a free people. We have to free ourselves from the propaganda and try to encourage our family to not be so influenced by it. We got to start, as things are revealing themselves, we got to make sure that they're noticing it. Y'all notice that this shit is really sounding crazy. They want you to have a daggone another shot, booster shot every damn other month. Does that make sense to you? Y'all come on now, wake up now. Let's think about it. We need to use these opportunities to retrain our friends and family to think for themselves. Because, we don't want to think for ourselves. A lot of us just don't want to think. They just want to live, be happy. They feel like being happy is not thinking. Being happy, why should I think? That does not bring me happiness. Sounds like work to me. See, that's the problem. So we have to make sure that we encourage, our folk to think. And the thing about it is that we need to also encourage them to start being a lot more selective, blocking out that master in your pocket that's trying to control you. Exactly. I mean, we know that these are bioterrorism. These are bioterrorism weapons, And so the thing is that, you can't tell everybody that because they just don't want to hear that. That's fine. But just tell them you don't want to put yourself at risk for no more side effects. You don't got to get political with nobody. Just tell your family and friends, look, you don't want to put yourself at risk for no more side effects, do you? I mean, I think that anybody, even no matter what their political leanings or their whatever their thoughts are, they should not want to put themselves at risk for more side effects. Just tell them that.
That that's simple enough. I mean, it's all so simple. How come it's so hard to understand?
I think that that's the witchcraft, right? They want it to be hard to understand. Let me tell you something about people. This is one thing that really is very trying about people, and what the European likes to use. This is a major manipulation. Anybody that wants to make shit complicated is a friggin' fraud. Okay? They're a fraud. Anybody who wants to act like they're the Wizard of Oz and they're the only ones who's been able to figure this thing out. They're the only ones who can set you free or do this, whatever it is. Do whatever it is for you, is a fraud. Because the reality of life is this, that science can be simplified. Physics can be simplified. Whatever, calculus can be simplified. If you are really adept at these fields, you can explain it to a 5-year-old. These people that make shit complicated don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why it's complicated. You can't teach what you don't know. You can't break down what you don't know. If you can't break it down to simple terms, then you don't know what you're talking about. The folks that want to mystify it and make it like woobla bloobla bloobla, this is very hard. This is heady stuff. It's heavy. It's going to take a while for you to get on my level. Those kind of people, watch out. Watch out. Those are wizards. They trying to play a game on your head. Those wizards are working on your brain because that's bull. Anything on this planet is nature. And nature can always be broken down to simple terms. That's all that is. So, forget them people trying to tell you that you can't figure this out, or that's too hard, or something is beyond your scope, or you need to have this or that training to understand this and such. That's a bunch of bull. Everything on this planet can be broken down to simple terms because this earth is about nature. And nature, if you are just paying attention, is easy to understand. That's what that.
So, do you think at this time, I mean, whatever's going on in the world, we're seeing that they're having all kind of problems, and Negroes, like they do, always run to the rescue. Do you think now is the time, seriously, on a serious tip, to just say, let's get away from them? Let's just try to figure out and go along this, figure out a way ourselves. Because they shit ain't working. I think they just had a little school shooting the other day or something. Why do we keep trying to just be with them and that shit don't work? Nobody trying to live like that. Nobody's trying to live like trying to get shot. Dude, I mean, they're boring. They do dumb shit. They not about life. Why is it so tough for us to get away from that or not think that's cool?
Because this is the problem, and this is what my Uber driver was saying. I thought this is real. And she was like, you know what? We just got to learn to respect each other. And she's right. The reason why we're still trying to kiss massa all up in the face is because we don't want to respect one another. We don't want to respect and work together like we used to do. And what a lot of people don't know is that's what we used to do not so long ago. We worked together. How you think there was all these hundreds of daggone Negro, Indian, or indigenous towns, cities all throughout America, more than 100? How do you think they came to be? It's because people respected each other. People wanted each other to win. They cheered each other on. And not only that, but they actually supported one another in doing so. That was happening on a regular basis. They would only been able to bleach us out of that in the last 80 years. But we really rode for each other. And now y'all act like if the white man you're looking to see what the white man's to do before you do anything. As if he should be leading you. You know why? Because you believe his own fake propaganda. That he's the white shining knight trying to lead you to a better way of life. Gonna show you how to daggone be a civilized being and all that stuff. You believe all that stuff. So if you believe all that stuff and you don't respect your fellow indigenous person, then you can't win. You cannot win until you learn to have that caring, that support, that trust. And even if they disappoint you, you get up and you go and you do it all again. You don't give up on each other.
Now, she just said you don't up on each other. We're at that phase now where the energy we give them allows them to do a lot of this bullshit that they doing. I mean, you can look at the clock, you can look at the zodiac or however you look at it. But this person has just they haven't been they not with life. They're all about death. Everything they do, everything they talk about, all the movies they make, all the news, it's always a problem. Whereas that people just can't sit down and, work it out. I'm saying that the energy that we give them to do that is going to be our downfall. The energy we give them to do all that stuff they do, and then we try to act like we're a victim, but we with it. We're not trying to take our money and build up our homes where our people are from in these little counties and stuff around America. You know, Mexicans come up here and work and they take their money back home and build pyramids. These Africans take the money that you use buying dashikis, they take that money back home and build mansions. Shouldn't that be the same thing with us in the places that our people are from? Can't we support them or look out for them? What do you think about that, Lisa?
Absolutely. We need to be that's what we need to be focused on building together and just changing our hearts and the way we see each other. I mean, you just got to change your lens because in my lens, I'm like, even though this heifer gets on my nerves or whatever, you got to see the beauty of everybody. Even though I may cuss somebody out, I still know that girl's brilliant. Okay, she's a brilliant woman. She is very smart. She has a very interesting worldview. She's very talented, multi-talented. You got to see the greatness in your fellow people, in your kin, and you need to recognize that no matter what dumb stuff they do or wrong stuff they do, you still got to keep pumping each other up because there's always something to pump each other up about, and that's what we need to be about. We need to be about building and not. You see, let me tell you something. These shootings and all these things that they put out there, they're trying everything that they have done in the past. They probably going to have somebody. They had the rape same thing. They had the shooting thing. They want to create fear. They want us to trust their idiot box and distrust each other. That's the goal. But now it's like on hype speed. It's warp speed Get the Negro scared of each other. Make the Negro distrust one another. Make them fear everyone but what we tell them to trust. It's gonna be warp speed. So the shootings in school they're not that's not surprising. We have the sniper? We had the sniper, then we had 9/11, right? We had the sniper, then we had 9/11. So that gave us the whole thing of the kids being locked down. We were all okay with it. You see what I'm saying? These things, I don't believe these things are coincidental, accidental, or not even planned. Because let me tell you something. The 9/11, that changed our ability to move around the world. We got on lockdown. They didn't stop no daggone Middle Eastern people from coming here. They didn't treat them like they were some kind of awful murderers. And not 1 minute did we have any racism or anything against Middle Eastern people. Why? Why were we made the slaves? And why were we put on lockdown after 9/11? The sniper made it okay to lock our kids up in school. It made them okay to keep our kids locked up and away from us in school. See, they are creating this fear so that they can do what they want. It allowed them to put police officers in school. It allowed them to put metal. All this stuff is getting created. I don't even think this half of the shit, these incidences are real. But they make it so that we will allow them to take away our rights and our freedom. But what the baddest thing that it does, it's that it's elevating our fear and elevating our distrust of one another. That's the most dangerous thing about it. And right now, because everything with this COVID has failed, they're desperate for something to work. So every little trick that they have put out there for the past 100 years, they're trying to pull out right now all at once. It's looking real crazy right now because they're extremely desperate. They can't keep up with the rate at which people are waking up.
So Lisa, so as a nation of people, I mean seriously, because this thing has just gone haywire. Do you think it would be wise for seriously what we talked about earlier for us to say, what do we think? What do we think is best for us moving forward? Do you think we should take that route, or do you think we should keep going the way we're going now?
I think if we don't start being smart and getting our families together and working on like this week, brother hit me up on, I guess it was Instagram or something, asking me about genealogy. I don't have much time. Like, seriously, y'all, I got a lot of shit going on. But when people ask me questions, I try to, if I can. Sometimes it just like, I mean, you're human. You have to help, right? So, um, he was asking me about his genealogy. Then he starts saying that he has all these people in Texas. He has some of them that came from the East Coast and seem to move to Texas, but everything is kind of related to this one town in Texas. And the farthest back information. I don't know. I still have to talk to him because people talk and they go in circles and stuff. But anyway, to get to the meat and potatoes of it, he ended up in this Natchitoches, Texas, which I don't know. I'm familiar with the name, and that's really where his people are centered. And I was like, shoot, well, what are the Indians? He was telling me, he started out the conversation by telling me he was trying to be a member of a tribe called the Lipan Apaches, and they told him to go find an African American tribal leader and don't look over here, bro. Pretty much they basically told him that they don't use bloodline, they don't tell the names of their members, they don't tell you who are their tribal names, they don't reveal that. Oh, go to acamac.org, acamac.org to sign the petition. So anyway, he told me that he's thank you. And so anyway, so he told me that he tried with them. I was like, man, I said, your people are from Natchitoches. What's the county there? What's the name of the town? I Google it, and I said, wait a minute, who are these Coda Indians? They said they're extinct. I said, those are your people. I mean, what are you doing? You're trying to look all over. That's where your people are. They already wrote about them. They talk about they disappeared, but you are them. I'm like, you need to get yourself immediately together, get yourself a 503(c), a corporation with that name. You need to get yourself organized. He says, well, my family's not going to do anything. I said, bruh, it's only going to be you, okay? With everything you do, it's only going to be you. It's only one. Like Lisa does everything. In the beginning, it's you. You start by getting this together. You start by starting a Facebook group for your Indians. You start by looking on Facebook and find those people that live in that area who may have always lived in that area. Those are the Coda Indians. You already have a park that's named for your people, just like my people have a park. You got the same situation I got, but probably better. You probably got oil and all kinds of other minerals and mines and shit in Texas that I don't got. You probably have all kinds of things that belong to your people and a whole lot more land. I said, but you have to start. That's where you get your real ability to classify, because you're actually using your own real bloodline. You're using your own real people that you came from, right? You're using your own real heritage, the facts. And I said, it's your job to know everything about your Indians. You got to be the expert. And then you start putting information out on your Facebook page and make a private group, and then add people to it that you feel are of the lineage. Of course, your cousins that come from there, and then you also got to include the people that, like I said, that live in that area who are of that heritage, obviously. You invite them, you ask them a few questions, you vet them, and then you teach them. You use that Facebook like I did to teach them about the heritage so they know about it. And then you vet them some more. You find out, help them with their genealogy, and help them kind of figure out, okay, wait, maybe are you really a Coda Indian? Okay, and then that's your start of your enrollment.
Lisa, just let me just share this real quick, because you talked about it, you hit on it earlier. And this is something that, if we look at, we can gain a lot of information from. So if you look at maps, so I think Lisa talked about it, we talked about it a few months ago, about calling yourself Cherokee. Those are just names that they put out there. It's not the people who were there, because you hear everybody say I'm Cherokee. Yeah, but in that whole map of Cherokee is thousands of other people. And that's why it's cool to check your genealogy, because you see where they're come from. Their name might be the name of that place in that county. You don't know, because we were at war. So there's a whole lot of things we have to look at other than what they tell us. It's like Lisa just said. Those people were called something else. And the brother was like, well, that's me. And this is where we are in history now. So Lisa, can you hit on the importance of genealogy and just looking out and just how the family must come together, because each of them are a piece of the puzzle?
This brother, I tried to get him on the show this tonight, but he's working tonight, and he was like, yeah, me and this other brother, we were both involved trying to get our identity change, trying to re-identify and get our declaration done, and we was dealing with this Moorish type thing, and he says, we know that's a bunch of bull, and we're trying to get out of that, so we're going to come together. I said, no, you can't come together with this brother if he's not what you are. If he's not a Caddo Indian, he can't do you what you do. He's gonna have to take he's done his year. I said, well, his genealogy is gonna lead him to his Indians, and your genealogy led you to your Indians. And yeah, if we want to all come together and create a confederacy later, with real Indians who've done their real genealogy and found they're real Indians and are claiming themselves under their original umbrellas, not really, not even umbrellas, the original nations, then yeah, we can do that later. But right now, no, you can't just be mixing and mashing because it's always, you know what? It's always easy to deal with somebody who is of a like mind, who already knows what you know and already believes how you believe and wants to go in the same direction you want to walk in. Yeah, that's easier. It would be nice. But the reality is, you want to be able to have your land. You want to be able to go to the sheriff's department and where your people are from and say, "Yep, don't you ain't messing with us. This is we're here." And you're gonna have to tread differently with the Acamax. You're gonna have to do it. You have to do it a little differently with us because we're a nation and we're not in your jurisdiction, and you're gonna have to deal with us as a people, not just as individuals, right? So I mean, you can't do that if it's like he's from, I don't know where the other person is from, Cali or Arkansas, and he got another people, and you got this people. You trying to come? No, it's not gonna work that way because you're not all of the same bloodline. Plus, as you claim yourself as your original people, that's how you can claim yourself as non-tax. You say, okay, I'm a Caddo Indian. I predate what you're talking about. I was here before your whole invasion, and so I am that pre-colonial non-tax Indian that they speak of, okay, and I qualify for that. See, that's the different thing. When you actually do it the right way, you are above the law. But all this other stuff that people try to flim-flam you into believing, those are social groups. They're using either like a sorority construction or they're using the construction of like a religious organization, right? And so they aren't really using any Indian status, but they try to act like they're Indian to reel you in and make you think you're changing your identity with changing your daggone birth certificate, all this stuff. You don't gotta do all that because if you're doing if you're in your real rightful place with your people's history is enough evidence to show that you are who you are. Your bloodline genealogy to the people that pre-existed, who have a history, who belong in that particular area, is your re-identification. That's your declaration right there. You ain't got to go around changing every document that the government gave you. Because your name is the name. Because you are that person. And you are that Indian. Your name is the proof. Why you got to change anything on your birth certificate? You don't got to change anything. They classified you how they wanted to classify you. That's their document.
Excuse me, ma'am. My name is Hatshepsut El Bay.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying? All this other extra stuff is not necessary. And that's what people need to realize is that people will tell you anything because, and the more complicated they make it, don't believe it. If they want to act like they're the only person that can help you, don't believe them. Because a lie is always complicated. But the truth is very simple. Okay, what's she talking about? What area? Copper color. What area is she talking about? I found out my family is from distant center. And they're right. I was there before that many people. Oh yeah, man. I guess that depends on how old she is, because some people's great grandmama ain't that old. I'm not really sure what that means. You know what I mean? Because like my great grandmother was born in the 1800s, right? But then depending on how old you are, your grandma might be just like the same age as my brother. So that's kind of like a relative thing, um, as far as being in the area. You know what I mean? Everything's kind of relative to what your situation is. I have older parents. My dad was born in 1927. You know, so that puts my grandparents being born in the like 1900s, 1889, 18, like that. And then my great grandparents are like early, like in the 1850s.
So with those people born in that, relating to now, how do we, if we're studying our genealogy and we're trying to learn about our people, how should we be thinking about what's going on now and what we're facing now? What should we take from what we learned from them? How should we apply it to our lives today?
Well, I think this is what's important. I think when you're doing your genealogy, I think the most important thing that you should apply is that, just like, first of all, a lot of it's going to be like who really speaking to you, what's really vibrating well with you. Well, what seems to be right, and who's really calling out to you, that you need to follow up. You need to follow up with them and follow this all the way through. Um, I'm not sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's also important that um, we use this information in our genealogy to get yourselves and the rest of your family free. I mean, so what if it's just you? Like I told him, I said it's not going to be just you. What you're going to find out is that, first of all, a lot of people that think you may be talking nonsense or will change their minds, but you have to make it. You have to show and prove. The other thing you have to do is also realize is that you got cousins you don't even know. And as you discover these cousins, you're going to find out these cousins are those like-minded people that you were seeking. That they were just looking for somebody who could figure this out. And find out, yeah, these are who we are. This is who we are. And get it together because they didn't know what to do. So a lot of these people are there and they're ready and waiting. And at a certain point, they actually may be helpful. And then as in time, the helpful numbers will grow. But it has to start with you taking that first step. But it's a personal first step of like, I got to I got to learn about my real family and call out those names and make those connections so that I can, yeah, to go back to, exactly. Exactly. That's right, copper colored lifestyle. Yeah, you need to, I suggest that people go back. I think people really need to go back, man. And definitely out of Atlanta. They need to get the hell out of Atlanta. I don't know what the world. I wasn't there in the house, but when go ahead. Hmm. Oh, I thought. Oh, I thought you had muted me. But anyway, yeah. So no, I think people need to go back to the. They need to go back to their homelands, and that's it. And as I drive through Atlanta, I'm like, no, these cities are really crazy. People need to go back to their homelands and actually reclaim what's theirs and work to help the people that are still living there and have suffered through and stayed there. And that has been that's a service to you that some of those original people still remained in those little towns, and they deserve us to come back and help and to make it a better place and to build it up like it needed to be and how it used to be.
Man, could you imagine? Could you imagine if that really went down? Seriously? Because they got places all, I mean, listen, for those of you guys that haven't been to Mississippi lately, Mississippi off the hook. Mississippi off the hook. And see, all they telling about you is Mississippi. When they telling you about Mississippi, the first thing they bring up is Emmett Till. I mean, damn, cuz, can we get past that? Could you imagine if those people came back to their hometowns in Louisiana, Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia? T- what? What? With the resources that's there? But as long as we keep trying to follow somebody else, as long as we keep wanting to be somebody and trying to integrate with somebody else, we gonna lose.
Yeah, it's really time to rise up um and be the people that we're designed to be. You know, the people that are in tune with nature and a part of this nature, a part of this planet. You know, get, like I said, get comfortable with the plants, get comfortable with the bugs, get comfortable with the ground, the dirt, the moon, the sun. But if we're not there to be around them and get the lessons, then we're losing. As the rooster club crows, yeah, y'all know I found out one of my chickens is a rooster. Cock a doodle doo. So nature's a profound thing. They make those beautiful. They make the most beautiful birds, the male birds, to attract those hens. And he is the most beautiful. Jackie, as we thought Jackie was a girl. Jackie is a boy. Jackie, and they all, they came from eggs, so we didn't know, what was what. You know what I'm saying? So, Jackie, is a rooster, and Jackie, yeah, is a badass, and he's extremely beautiful. He's a beautiful bird, and but that's what nature does. Nature makes him extremely beautiful to keep all the ladies at bay and keep the ladies in control and keep them happy. Give them something nice to look at. It's an amazing.
So, does the male? How do you tell the difference between the male and the female on the chicken? Because I'm a city boy, I don't know nothing about it. How do you tell the difference between the male? Does he have a penis like we do, or how is that done?
I've not looked at Jackie's underlings, but Jackie has a big old he has got crown on his face, and his has that big old goblet thing, and so he has a different whole facial structure. His crown and everything is different, and he's just bigger and more. He's just fancier. His feathers are more just more beautifully colored, and he's just more regal looking. But the other chickens are nice, but they're a little plainer. They're a little smaller. He's kind of grandiose.
So are chickens? I mean, are they natural birds, or are they artificial, or are they cloned from somebody else? How does that work?
People say that they are artificial. Um, I don't know if I believe half the things that the European people tell you. You know what I mean? So I don't know about that, but they say that we had uh, turkeys, which I had a turkey, but the turkey was I think Jackie beat up the turkey, but turkey didn't make it. But and we used to at least the Ackerman. I can't speak for other people in the country, but we used to we domesticated the turkeys and we used to raise turkeys. So my goal really was to raise a bunch of turkeys, but I ended up with a menagerie of different types of fowl. But uh yeah, these birds are. I mean, they are natural. I mean, and I tell you one thing is that when you get to kind of like taking care of a bird, that's first of all like that. Taking care of any kind of livestock, it's gonna put you out into the fresh air. It's gonna put you. Um, it makes you a giver and a provider of, a life that can give to you. The eggs that they supply, and you're actually feeding them the right foods and the right water and making sure it's the right condition and it's good quality, and and then you got good quality eggs to as a result from that. But it is a lot of work. But like I say, it's a good kind of work. It's a kind of work that puts you out in the fresh air and out, in physical contact with, another life form that, you know, it can give to you and you give to it. And that's a very beautiful thing. I mean, everybody's not going to be into that. There's other things you could be into. You might be into making your own things or building things or designing things or growing things. But, I think we all should kind of try to exercise those parts of ourselves that lead to self-sufficiency, because that too is something we need to be less dependent on this system, with this cocaine food that they giving us, this crack cocaine food, and these crack cocaine beverages they're trying to give us. And we need to get, back into being a little easier, a little more simplistic, a little more basic. Like I said, the simple things are the best things. Let's stick with some simple solutions in our lives.
I wholeheartedly, I wholeheartedly agree with you. It got to be simpler than this. And like I said, these demons are making life is too complicated, and it doesn't have to be like that. Which means Babylon is falling down. So I think we should pay attention to that. And I think we should pay attention to what our role is in this whole matrix. Do we power it up, or do we take our energy from the beast so the beast will fall? I mean, how are we doing it? I mean, seriously. And that's one of the things we got to think about. We gonna be in it but not of it? I mean, how are we gonna do it? And we better come up with a decision quick, because you know what it's looking like for that side. So Lisa, close us out, baby.
That's right. Divest your power from this beast. That's a great way to put it. Divest your power, divest your energy, divest your attention. Don't even give them any attention, because they want you to pay attention to the bull crap they're doing. And a lot of it's a bunch of bull. They want you to think that they care about these baby molesters. They want to make you think that they care about these people doing wrong stuff. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about nobody. It's like they sit up there in the White House, had a bunch of military kids reading them a story about some military family and for Christmas. And I'm like, they pay these people a losing wage. Most low-ranking military folks are not making a winning living. They're making a losing living, okay? They are just eking by. They are not winning. Okay? A lot of them are on public assistance, at least some kind of food stamps. When you're a military wife, you got a few kids, you know, you it's not a winning situation. It should not be that. If you freaking care about those people, pay them. Don't bring a couple of daggone token kids to the White House and read them a trash baby book. Don't do that crap. Do something real to help their daggone life condition, to help their parents. See, nobody cares about anything. They're all frauds. They're all fakes and liars. So yeah, it's time to divest. Don't give them no attention. Don't give them no time. But do get on the damn This Now app, This Now group, where they Biden and Pelosi and all them people, they're going Fauci. They're on there twice a week, every week, at least twice, 3 times a week. You can get in their faces and you can tell them about themselves. And let me tell you, it has become now that there are more people saying negative stuff to them than positive. They can't take it. They be cutting things short because they don't want to see all those negative chats. They know this is a barometer. See, that's how they take the temperature of how their stuff's going with these chats. See, if you're not present in the chats to show them that there's massive discontent in the world against them, then they continue to think that they're winning. So the more people that get on these social medias where these people, these government officials are, and voice our discontent with them, that's the faster we're gonna get away from them trying to flog us with their bull crap because they're going to realize it's not working. In the meantime, you need to be getting yourself ready, getting your family ready, getting your information ready, doing that real research about who your people are. See, what I think is a lot of people lollygag. They get to a certain point, they know a lot. Oh, yeah, I know, I'm all the way back to the 1700s. Well, nigga, what you doing then? If you're all the way back to the 1700s, what are you waiting for? Like, if you found out your people always been in this daggone particular place since the 1700s, so what were they then? French Canadians? I don't understand why you're not finding your Indians, because those are your Indian people. It's time to go and dig that little extra deeper and find out what Indians they were. And then start redefining yourself, redeclaring yourself. Then you can reach out to Lisa and say, Lisa, now I actually found my Indians, or maybe I had need a little help. I'm trying to whittle it down or whatever. I found my Indian people. Now what can I do? Then you can say, now what? And I'll be glad to give anybody a little the right direction to take with their now what. But you better get to your now what right now.
So Lisa, if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to contact you, if they're at the now what? How do they get in contact with you?
At acamac.org, you can send me a comment on the acamac.org site, and acamac.org site, and I usually sends a great alert to my phone, and I will get back to you. I'm pretty good about that.
So look, so there you have it. There you have it. I'm not too much on what other people from other places are doing. I understand what's going on in Africa. I understand. I don't understand why the people flee when their country's being exploited. I don't understand that. Maybe some of them can tell me sometime. When you walk away from your home, when you walk away from your ancestors, when you turn your back on them, when they just had their arms open for you the whole time, you got hell to pay. Your people left you a legacy, and you're going to go to another man and seek refuge from them, and you think you're going to win? So I want to thank Lisa for joining us tonight, and she's here every Friday night, y'all. This woman has done amazing stuff by herself. Support her, support your people, support who you are, support life. We'll see you next time. Peace.